With Rocket League having around 10.5 million copies sold and the total number of registered players almost hitting 29 million, Psyonix has a really good reason to make its glorified soccer game a convincing buy. However, some of you are potentially still on the fence with the title. On the one hand, I do understand. I mean, there is a crucial aspect of the game that you must enjoy in some way, and that, of course, is soccer. The only thing is, that might not be true. I urge everyone to play the game if they can, before writing it off as something they're not interested in. I have never sat through a whole game of soccer, and that should be at least partly evident by the fact that I even call it soccer. But even a complete pleb like myself can find a ton of enjoyment in Rocket League, over 80 hours worth of enjoyment to be vague. There is, however, yet another reason to give it a go, and potentially buy it too. Quote, why would we want to take this huge community that we've already built, that's still growing, and say, what you're playing now is going to be irrelevant in 12 months, but we want you to stop what you're doing, give us money all over again, and move over to this other game. That's not the right way to do things. I think that era of games has passed. End quote. The guy who said that was Vice President of Psyonix, Jeremy Dunham. He also said this, quote, our goal is to keep making Rocket League better and better so that we don't lose any of the people that want to play. If they're playing our game, we're not going to penalize them and make them buy our game again just because we want to add a couple new features. We want to let them know that we're in it for the long haul, if they're in it for the long haul. End quote. Hopefully that has swayed some people who were worried about getting in on the Rocket League train so late, because in summary, the train may have barely left the station. It seems like we won't be seeing Rocket League 2 out of Psyonix anytime soon, and that's because they're putting all their sequel stuff into the first game instead. What are they adding? I hear at least one of you ask. Well, a bunch of stuff. A bunch of cosmetic items, completely new ways to play the game with new game modes, new vehicles, new maps, it's all there. One thing we probably won't see is any serious gameplay mechanic changes, which is something that a sequel could afford. But those of you that have played it know that if there is one game that doesn't need any mechanical tweaking, it's Rocket League. Hand on heart, I think I've had one instance of lag during a game of Rocket League this entire year as well. This thinking appears very contemporary and very positive, as long as it is handled correctly, because this thinking could lead to parts of games becoming more hidden behind paywalls. The idea being that if the greedy publisher of the day can't get a sequel out, they will clamp down harder on the original to try and compensate for what would probably be a less profitable way to make games. Sequels are a good way to make money, because we love them. They bring our favorite worlds back to life again with fresh content, and that can be brilliant. No one is saying the Witcher sequels were not worth making. However, and this is a big however, some game series probably don't need sequels. Maybe due to the lack of narrative, or maybe because from game to game, they don't really change. Now I want to let you decide which games might suffer this sequel sickness, but Rocket League seems a prime candidate for a game that wouldn't benefit us if it was released with a big old 2 slapped onto it. What do you guys think? Comment it below. Like and sub if you would be so kind, and I'll be seeing ya with another story soon.